And now, on with the show.
Hi everyone. What's up?
Hello.
Ben?
Hey.
Welcome back.
We are here, all of us, again in the same room, yet in a different city.
Woo.
We're travelers.
Eve has ventured her way into Louisville to see me and Ben because it's a very important weekend. I turn 25 tomorrow.
Quarter of your problems are over.
Literally.
Or they just started.
They just
You're only a
begun.
quarter of the way into your problem.
Half glass full. Half glass full. Quarter glass full, actually.
Quarter glass full, there you go. So, we are here this weekend to celebrate my birthday, and I'm really excited that they're here.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm always here.
Ben is always here, that's true.
Feels like we're on Dr. Phil or something. Thanks for coming on the show.
I mean, we could have some drama, Eve.
We have before. We will again.
But we wanted to do this episode. I'm kind of one of the last to turn 25, like I said in my intro. So I wanted to get everyone's take on 25 things that we've learned or are still learning as we've turned 25.
Woo!
Period. So, why don't you start with us? Since you are the birthday girl, I want to hear the
And then
things that
number
you've
one,
learned.
do we just want to go round robin?
I think we can.
I
I think
love it.
we say one and then maybe like give a
Discuss.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like a little.
That's a great idea. Let's do it.
Okay, I'm just gonna go straight down my list here. Number 1, empathy goes a long way with others and especially with yourself.
Does that play into the giving yourself grace?
It definitely is like the self-compassion route, obviously, but it's also like you never. One of my favorite books of all time is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Such a good book. Read that in high school. Yeah.
I know it's slept on because it's like kind of a classic, but I just think it's a message that everybody deserves to hear. Like, you don't know someone until you truly walk in their shoes or like put yourself in their situation. And I just think it's a good reminder to like just treat everyone like how you would want to be treated, kind of.
Well, and it's not a weakness either.
No, it's not.
But it's really seen as a weakness.
Well, it's a golden rule.
Yes,
it's a golden
Treat
rule.
others as you would like to be treated.
Period.
Or,
It's
love thy neighbor type
One thing
deal,
to
you
say
know?
it, another thing to actually
Do it.
Do it. I am very poor about being empathetic towards other people, so I always try to remind myself.
Hey, admitting is the first step.
Right.
I think I'd like to throw my next one because it kind of plays into that. Of
Okay,
like,
go
don't
for it.
hold grudges.
Don't hold grudges. That's a good one.
I think it's very easy to do. I think it's very easy to be like, that person did me dirty.
Yep.
But it's truly the only reason I can walk around with like a smile on my face is because that is so much extra baggage that I don't have to carry.
I think life is too short for like negative energy. And it's
It is.
exhausting to hold on to that.
Really.
And I've seen it like a lot of times where like people are very like miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable people want others to be miserable with them.
Oh my
Amen.
gosh, yeah.
And like I find myself in those situations when
I think we all just thought of the exact same person.
Yeah. When you are like around a group of people and there's one person who's just like going off and being super negative and like
Yeah.
about others, and it's like this is kind of making me uncomfortable at this point.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I haven't
hard,
experienced this. And to your point, you can seesaw that and say have some empathy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
But where do you draw the line, I think, is what I'm still learning.
Yeah, I think grudges is hard. There's definitely a few it's a really small group of people in my life that I want nothing to do with, but truly adapting to have a mindset of I no longer care about you,
Right.
not in a malicious way, but because I don't have a grudge. I don't have, I don't feel like I need an apology from you or anything like that. That is really hard, and
It's not worth holding on to.
yeah.
Well, and there's also a difference between like obviously holding a grudge or like to say you've exerted all efforts and that person is still not giving you what you need or giving you what you want. Like,
Yeah.
I think at that point it's okay to be like, I'm not benefiting from having you in my life at all at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, And that's not a grudge. That's almost like a boundary, I would say.
And I don't know that I don't know that I would agree with your statement of you're not putting value into my life. Because there are people in my life that don't, like, add value necessarily.
Right.
But they've never done me wrong to where
Fair.
I'm like,
Very
ooh, stop and, like,
Yeah.
get away from me. Like I've had those tough conversations with you both where it's like, if I truly didn't like something, I would have walked away.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So, Evelyn?
Okay, my first was...
Sorry for your government name.
That's actually
Not even our government name.
Oh, okay.
My name's just Eve.
Then you didn't know that?
My grandma was Evelyn, but they called her Eve, and like Evie. So that's why I'm.
How many years have we? Never mind.
Hey, it's fine. It doesn't hurt, just a little. Okay, the things that happen are the things that you do not worry about. I'm a huge worrier, and my brain like fills up like a balloon with worries all the time, all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
And something I'm still learning and probably have a very long way to go is that all the horrible, bad things that will happen to me are things I never even thought to worry about or never even crossed my mind. So why make myself suffer twice by worrying about something, and then when something actually does happen, you just suffered twice and suffered for so long because you're just so worried all the time. And worry,
like playing
unfortunately,
scenarios in your head.
Yeah, unfortunately, worry dictates me in a lot of my decisions. So,
unfortunately, even our professionals in playing the worst case scenario game.
Yes, always. And it's the most obscure, random things ever that I'm worrying about.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, if I don't worry about this, it will happen to me, if that makes any sense.
Kind of like how, I feel like we've talked about this, how you can't picture yourself as like an old lady, so you don't think you're ever going to make it there.
Right. Or like I never thought I would get married, and so like thinking about my wedding, I'm like, okay,
I'm not going to make it. I'm gonna,
what's going to happen? Which I don't want to invite that negative energy, so it's just like, why stop worrying about things because you can't plan out these details of your life.
Correct. I would agree.
I'm about to be negative Nancy, and I feel like I'm shitting all over your all's parades here.
Go ahead.
I think it speaks to how much time we have on our hands.
Fair.
And how much, like...
Or how much we're living in our heads and not in the present moment.
Yes. And also, like, being 25, not to steal anybody's point, it's hard to find, like, hobbies and new friends, especially, like, in your case, moving to a whole new city where you know no one.
Yeah, that's very true.
And as you get older, like, that gets harder and harder and harder.
Because everyone's established everything already.
Right.
Or they're in the same damn boat as we are.
I think...
They don't know how to take that step, just like I don't.
Love to talk about the loneliness epidemic that's, like, going on right now. Have you heard people talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Mel talk about that?
I think she probably did. Mel Robbins. Love you.
We'd love to come on.
No, yeah, but I think all it takes is one act of vulnerability to be like, hey, I really need you right now. Or, hey, I really, like, want to have a conversation right now. Or, like, and I think people are too scared to admit that. I mean, I hate asking for help. Or hate asking to be like, but I think that's all it takes, truly.
No, yeah. I want to wrap up one thing about worry. And it goes back to what you said about having time on your hands. I think accidentally I've said this pattern where I have prioritized worry. So the time it takes and the space it takes up in my brain and it dictating my decisions, I have prioritized that. It's like when I'm considering something, normally you have the different aspects you're considering. Maybe you're doing pro con, but even before I get to there, the first thing I'm prioritizing is, okay, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
What's the worries associated with this? So it's definitely, it's a lot of it is like a mind over matter thing. But and that's something that I'm trying to do by staying present and staying in the moment and
mindfulness.
Don't even let it.
Yeah.
Don't even let yourself stop to even let that creep in, if that makes any sense. So.
Okay, sorry, we took a little snack beverage break.
Okay. Your number 2?
My number 2. Time spent with yourself is not time wasted. I think to speak off that loneliness epidemic, like, one of the greatest things I've done in my early 20s is spend a lot of time alone. And that's genuinely, I feel like, how you get to know yourself, is become your own best friend.
I will say, living in Nashville, I used to feel very lazy at times when I didn't have anything to do. And so I would just, like, hang around the apartment.
Yeah.
And I felt very guilty at one point, and I was, like, in therapy one day, and she was like, why are you beating yourself up?
Literally.
She's like, that's just perfectly okay and perfectly normal. A lot of people don't do that.
Correct.
No, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if I feel that way about being just by myself, but I'm not good alone, because I think it just leaves the quiet just leaves so much room for things I'm not ready to feel and talk about and think about to creep in. And so I really struggle with being by myself, so
A lot of people are.
I really need to work on that. Yeah, it's
That's-
I mean, when you said loneliness epidemic, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Screaming inside.
I'm sick with it.
Yeah.
Actually,
Truly.
So
I agree with your point, though.
It's a lot. It takes a lot. I still am. Yeah.
My number 2 would have to be always bring your popcorn.
Period.
No matter who you're with, there
I
will
love
always
microwave
be a
popcorn.
show. Even if I have to start the show, and then I can just kind of like kick back a little bit, you know? Like,
Hands off.
3 words is typically all it takes, and then I can just like grab my bowl of popcorn and sit there and
once
enjoy.
you get us started,
Huh?
once you get us started,
Literally.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
like jumping beans off of each other.
I mean, y'all did that last episode. Y'all were tossing beans at me.
Basically.
You were catching them in your mouth.
Alrighty. Eve, why don't you give us your number 2?
My number 2 is that the everyday is the most important. I think I touched on this in the first episode, so I'm not going to go like super in depth, but definitely check out the first episode. Basically, that just means don't be living for the vacations or the weekend or living for the most spectacular moments, because when you look at your life, if you're blessed enough to grow old, the majority of your life is going to be, 90% of your life is the everyday. Yeah. So if you can find a way to unlock actual happiness in the most monotonous and mundane, then you're, I think, genuinely unlocking the secret to a happy life. So.
Do we know the definition of mundane?
Yeah.
I feel like it means not important.
Yeah.
So it kind of contradicts that.
Well, I think it's like.
You're more inferring to like small things, the little things.
Well, I think that not important would be correct. I mean, a lot of people would say, what did you do today? Nothing. But really, because to them they're saying I did nothing because nothing I did today was important.
Yeah.
But in reality, you woke up, you took a shower, you went to work, you worked 8 hours, you came home, you cooked yourself a meal. Maybe you sat outside and enjoyed a Diet Coke or what,
Or bourbon.
Or bourbon. Like, that's all really important things.
Yeah.
It's just reframing your mind to think, no one cares, I don't care unless I'm telling them I just got back from a trip to Ireland.
Right.
Really, those really big moments, that is fun and exciting and great, and definitely do those, but at the same time, you need to really find a way to say, like, when you're going to bed, I had a great day, and I maybe did a lot of mundane items, but they were really fulfilling to me.
Spinning them to have meaning, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say by that.
It has meaning to yourself, but it doesn't have to have meaning to everyone else.
Right. Or, like, taking the time to, like, maybe talk to people you don't normally talk to at work and, like, make those human connections. And,
That's
like...
right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, taking that mundane thing and maybe just going, like, one step further.
Yeah.
I like it.
Is it me again?
Yes, you're third.
Sounded.
Right? Third?
Yeah.
This kind of goes with what we've already talked about, and this isn't really any explaining, really, but my number 3 is always lead with kindness. I think you just can't. There's never a scenario where you're going to look back and regret, like, being kind. I think.
Yeah, I really like that one.
I have. I'm not being facetious.
What do you mean? Okay, explain.
There are certain people in my life where I feel like I've given too much to.
Right.
And you all know that of me.
Definitely.
To where it's like, I was too kind.
Mm.
I let it go too far.
Yeah.
Or I gave too much.
That's fair.
So now, like, off first rip of meeting someone, yeah, kindness goes a long way. That's first impressions 101.
Right.
But
there is a big difference between kindness and being a pushover.
Yeah.
I will say.
Well, and also, would you regret that kindness if they had met your kindness with their unkindness? No, you probably wouldn't have.
That's true.
You know?
That's
so
true.
they would have been. So maybe they need to be.
Literally.
Maybe everyone listening to this, you need to be doing
You
this
need to
stuff
be.
because we're perfect.
It's like that saying
we're
that's like,
perfect.
maybe I'm not sensitive, maybe you're just a dick.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right there. Right there.
Like, I mean, maybe I am sensitive, but...
Well, what Ben's saying goes back to your first of, like, being empathetic.
Yes.
Don't let assholes make you say, all right, I'm fucking tired of being a nice guy.
No, because that's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's exactly what they want.
Like, that's a treasure of you.
And I find myself at times, that's why I go MIA for like a week or two at a time.
To
sometimes.
recharge.
It's because it's like, I've given so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, I'm sorry, like...
That's why last week when I didn't hear from you, I was like, that's fine. I get it.
And then I go on my apology tours.
And I'm like, I'm here. I'm still here.
No, yeah.
Ain't
I
nobody
did that to
going
Haley.
nowhere.
She tried to call me Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
and I was using the restroom, so that's why I didn't answer, but then I just never called her back.
Yep.
And then I texted her the next day, sent her a voice memo, and was like, hey,
Sorry.
I just had a lot going on last night and really wasn't in a good mind space to...
Yep. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
So do
it
you want
is.
to talk about that?
And then we did. Okay, Ben, your third?
My third would be saying no is okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's a good one.
I think that plays into...
We talked about that last episode, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That plays
Yeah.
into my last, like,
Correct.
bit that I just came off with you of, like,
I would agree.
learning when to, like, say no. So,
Mhm.
Okay, you.
it's all part of a boundary.
I'm going to say for my third, I skipped one because one of mine, one of you already touched on, but
Okay.
I'm going to say quality over quantity.
Mm.
And I think this can apply to a lot, but I specifically was thinking friendship-wise.
Yeah.
Haley's the one who pointed this out to me, but the Taylor Swift lyric, do you want to say it?
A friend to all is a friend to none.
Yeah, I think that's so true, and especially as you get older in your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
At first you feel, after the great scattering, you feel alone, and you feel like you have no one,
Yeah.
and you are latching on to relationships and trying to form new relationships
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be the person that only has one friend or two friends or three friends, because it looks like on social media everyone else still has a great huge friend group of 40 people and
Yeah, fuck that.
whatever. Quality over quantity. I am so content with my two really good friends and then a little bit wider of a circle with maybe 5 people.
Yeah.
I'm so content with that, and that works so well for my life.
That's
And
true.
those people, like, I know they're vetted in, they're great, they're gonna be here till the end.
We're invested.
Right. So it's just, I'm not interested, really.
Yeah. I'm the
I'm
same
not.
way.
If it happens, it happens about
Right.
creating a friendship,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to force it. I'm happy with
4 quarters versus 100 pennies.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Ben.
Haley?
Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
You can't regulate the emotions that you never allow yourself to feel.
Mm.
My therapist said this to me
Damn.
last session, and I just kind of sat there and was like, okay.
Really good point.
Yeah. So...
Okay, so that's what that is.
So I think I'd rather be medicated than you,
So-
like, having to tell me.
Whether or not everyone's ready to dip their toe into that one, maybe we just kind of move right along on that one. Alright, Ben, go ahead.
That one is categorized at the I'm just
Yeah.
starting to...
We're breaching that topic
Yeah.
as we speak.
Maybe in a couple of years we'll have an episode about that.
Literally.
Problems when you're 25 and below can be life-altering. and
okay.
are life altering.
Yeah.
I kind of have one just like that.
Do you?
I think a lot of people, like, it goes back to the empathy. All these are so connected. But when you think about trauma that you went through as a kid or relationships that you had, like, there are things that are life altering that occurred.
Definitely.
And it's okay to admit that.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be downplayed. It shouldn't be dismissed. Like, I can come off as dismissive sometimes. But there are definitely, like, it is valid.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, can I give a little anecdote about something that happened to me this week?
Huh?
Just speaking on that. So, my boyfriend's sister reached out to me this week, and she had just watched the Call Her Daddy episode of Penn Badgley. And he talked about how, like, he was an only child and his parents were divorced, and how it just forced him to, like, be an adult at a very young age. Like, it was, like, 3 adults, basically, at that point. And she had sat down and watched that episode, and she had Snapchatted me, and she was like, I had no idea that this is what you went through. And she was like, I just want you to know how strong you are, how much I admire you for that, how, like, it was just really validating to be like, okay, like, you didn't go through anything similar to that at all, but you see it, and you get it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was just...
To be seen.
It was really special. Like, it just, like... I don't know.
That's the best thing. It's obviously everyone that in your life and in the world is going to have a varying level of privileges more than you or privileges less than you. And that's fine. I totally accept that. And I'm not holding that against anyone, especially like those people in your life that it just kind of seems like everything works out for them.
Correct.
I will never ever fault them for it as long as they're aware of the privileges that they have and, you know, are graceful with the way they communicate that and the way that they are communicating with me about my problems and my lack thereof privileges, you know, compared to them. So I think that's really pretty incredible that she can step back and acknowledge that.
Make you feel seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to jump around because the one I had is very similar to Ben's.
Okay.
A little bit different, but I said it's so important to think about the long-term effects of decisions that you're making now. This is kind of like on the flip side of, it's similar but not exactly the same. But basically, when you are in your early 20s and in college and, you know, finishing up high school, I think for me personally, it kind of feels like you can get away and do anything. And the decisions you're making don't really matter, and you can kind of wait to really make those hard choices. But I think if you kind of reframe your mind starting, you know, now and thinking, okay, whatever I'm doing now and the goals I'm setting now, these are going to affect me when I'm 50, 60, 70, 80 dead. You know, like, so I really want to make sure that I'm, at this point, prioritizing the things that are going to help me out in the long term. I'm prioritizing the people. I'm doing the things because it's going to all affect me. And there are things, if I could go back when I was 20, 21, 22, 23 even, and say, this is not going to serve you in the future.
Long term,
And this decision you're making, you should definitely rethink it and paint a long-term view on it. Not that you have to have everything planned out, but just run the scenario.
Anticipate.
Yeah, in 15 years, if I do this now, is that going to help my life or hurt my life?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So, yeah, I think that could be said for anyone out there who's maybe weighing something hard.
That's powerful.
Haley?
What around 5?
5.
Number 5.
There, I don't know if I want to use this one or not. Because we've already kind of talked about this.
You can skip around. You can also make things. You can also, if something comes to you in the moment, feel free to.
Okay, I'm just gonna whatever.
Let her rip, tater chip.
There is never weakness in vulnerability.
Say that again?
There is never weakness in vulnerability. Because I think a lot of times, like I said earlier, it just brings people closer together, ultimately. Like, that's literally the outcome.
I'm going to sound very malicious / negative for a minute.
Okay.
I love when people cry.
Oh, I do too.
Whether it's happy tears, sad tears, because it's like
1,000%.
that's a tangible
Thank
emotion.
You. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for saying that.
That is a tangible emotion. Like facial expressions are one thing, but like actual tears of like laughter, joy, sadness, like anger, like.
I might have to. Not that I'm not going to disagree with you. But I'm going to say I don't think I've learned that yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to learn that in the next 10 years. Because I very much think it's very ingrained in me that being vulnerable is bad. And being vulnerable is scary. And being vulnerable is not going to get me anywhere.
Well,
and I also
scary.
hate crying in front of people. So
it is fucking scary. It's terrifying.
Right.
Like, you're very valid in that. That's very true.
Yeah. And you're not going to catch me crying. So, in front of.
I think I've only seen you cry once.
Probably.
Oh, I love to cry.
I don't cry that often.
Haley is a crybaby of the group, I would say. I don't think I've ever seen Ben cry.
Normally I cry in private.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I definitely cry when I puke, but that's more out of pain.
I cry when I'm happy, I cry when I'm angry, I cry when I'm sad, I cry.
But that's one of my favorite things about Haley. So it's like, it's interesting. It's these things that I cannot let myself do that I really enjoy in other people. Like, I love how empathetic she is, but I'm not empathetic. I won't allow myself to be for weird reasons. Same with crying. I don't want to cry in front of people, but I think it's wonderful when people cry in front of me because I'm like, you trust me.
I cry of laughter all the time.
Truly. I love that.
That's
so
always
fun.
my favorite thing. I'm like, oh, that's a real laugh.
I'm sure we'll
this
get
time.
to see it tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
My number 5. Sometimes you need to break your own heart.
Oh, shit, Ben.
Oh my god. Break. Enrique Iglesias.
Literally?
I still don't think I've learned that fully.
No, that's a tough one.
But
can you give me an example of that? Because I'm, for some reason, only thinking literally.
I would need to pause it to tell you the exact example, but you all both know the exact example.
I know what you're...
Oh.
Sometimes you need to break your own heart.
But think about what would have happened if you hadn't done that.
Oh.
Are we talking about...
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Like... Well, and even in high school.
Haley had to do it too.
Literally.
No, but even in high school, like my relationship in high school, like...
Yeah.
I held on to things where it's like... Just break your fucking heart.
I've had friendships like that. When we met.
Yeah.
I was going through that.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes you almost want someone or the group of people or whatever that you're kind of feeling conflicted with to just slam the fucking door in your face.
You do, because that's easier.
It's much easier.
Like...
It hurts more, but it's much easier.
Yeah, like...
Because then you can
the Band-Aid's ripped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my number 5. Sometimes you need to break your own heart.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. I'm going to say my number 5 is trust your intuition.
That goes along the same line.
Yeah, I definitely think I have a very strong, well-tuned intuition about people.
It really does.
Oftentimes, I'm proud to say people will come to me and be like, what do you think about my son? I don't know. I just think that I've seen a lot and been through a lot of, especially when it comes to like distrust and shadiness, just like within my own like family.
Yeah.
That I think because unfortunately I've been so
traumatized.
Yeah, about it that I'm like good at telling it. So I don't know. You have to really trust your intuition, but also trusting your intuition that like this is gonna be confusing to say, but for example, I used to always swear that Scott, my fiance, was cheating on me. Because I, in the past, had been cheated on in a relationship.
Right.
And so, I thought I was trusting my intuition by telling Scott, I think you're cheating on me.
Yeah.
But in reality, what my intuition was telling me is, you have trust issues.
Right.
So I needed to trust my intuition to say, like, you're feeling these things because you have trust issues and you need to work through this.
Right.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all. But, yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, number 6.
Numero 6.
Shame is the most useless emotion. Hear me out. Shame and guilt are very different. Guilt is what prompts you to right a wrong. Like, shame is like, I'm a bad person.
I feel like guilt is more internal and shame is more external.
Yeah.
Shame
I feel like I
comes
think of
to
like
you.
that person. Like, he's so shameful, or like
Yeah.
shame on you, kind of.
Right. It's more like spiteful, like shame is, and I think I was conditioned, I feel like from a very young age, to feel a lot of shame around, and not even intentionally conditioned, just a product of parents being people, but conditioned to just like have a lot of shame around sharing my own emotions and sharing my own needs.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think the older I get, the more I'm realizing like there's no use, like there's no use for that. Truly, there's nothing.
I would agree. I think guilt is a healthy emotion at times.
I would agree.
I think shame is an extra step beyond that.
Yeah.
That's, again, like you said, useless.
Like guilt is like, okay, I'm gonna write this wrong. That's how guilt keeps you like being a good person.
Accountable.
I think. Yeah, it holds you accountable. And I think shame just like
I also think people use shame as a cover up when they do things.
it's very manipulative.
Or,
Yeah.
Yes. Like in a situation where you're getting cheated on, someone might say to you, "I'm so ashamed of myself."
Right. Exactly.
And why are they saying that? Because they're trying to manipulate you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna hit you with a, "My grandma just died."
Literally. Oh my god.
Like, my grandma died, so I had to cheat on you. Like, make
Like
that
your
make
grandma
sense.
died 3 years ago, so like where's the correlation?
The dots are nowhere near each other.
Yeah.
They're actually on different graphs. So,
I'm like, how is this relevant?
literally,
My number 6.
sex.
Learn to read the room.
Thank you.
I'm speaking to everyone out there.
Say
As
it
you get
again,
older,
for the people in the
learn
back.
to read the room. But I find myself around people or in situations where it's just like, I want to crawl inside my own skin because I am
Yes.
so uncomfortable.
Yes.
Or like, people that aren't aware of
Oh my god, I
when they're talking shit and the person, Karen's right behind them. And it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't even engage in this conversation right now because you're embarrassing yourself so much. And I have secondhand embarrassment for you at this point.
You can never go wrong with like being classy. Truly. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the only people you should be talking shit to are the people that you trust most in life, and be doing it in the comfort and private of your own home or their own home. You know, you should not be doing that in a work setting.
Correct.
Or in public. Like,
At the O'Charlie's, see the
No.
table in the middle of the restaurant.
no.
Yeah.
Nothing irritates me more than people that don't know how to read the room. That might be my biggest pet peeve.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Go ahead, Eve.
Okay, my 6th is change is hard for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in order for change to do what it's supposed to do to you as a person, it's got to be difficult. And it's got to be scary, and it's got to actually change you.
Yeah.
And change everything about you. It has to turn everything upside down and put you in a really uncomfortable, vulnerable position in order for you
Yeah.
as a person to grow
Yeah.
and adapt.
But what if it's a bad change?
I mean, I think you.
I think it's still difficult for a reason. I think I didn't say that I think change is always good. I just
Right.
think it's hard for a reason. Like, even a really negative change that maybe you're forced into doing, or maybe someone manipulated you to do, it's gonna be hard still. And I think at the end of it, you're gonna always come out a better person. Even if you
Yeah.
are in a really tough situation or the change isn't good for you in the moment, I think you're gonna walk away.
You're gonna gain something from it.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
that's the
I
whole
think you
point
will.
of discomfort.
Definitely. And then there's no shame in failure. So if you do a change and you think it's gonna, if something changes and you think it's gonna really serve you and it doesn't,
Yeah.
then walk away with your head held high and know I just did something that most people would not even dare to do.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of see that in shows when, like, the wife kills her husband that's been abusing her, and like she just walks away with her head held high
Yeah.
out of the woods, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's the woods. Not literally.
Sorry.
I'm in the getaway car. Literally.
Go ahead, Ailey.
7.
Okay.
7.
I'm skipping one. Gratitude does wonders in changing your perspective.
Ugh.
I think,
I cannot. No, I'm saying ugh in a good way.
No.
I cannot like put my hands up in the church and be like worshiping
Amen.
Jesus, hopping on one foot to the other.
right.
For that one.
Well, should I say it again for the people in the back?
Yeah, go ahead and say it again.
Gratitude does wonders in changing your perspective. It is so easy to like
Glass half empty it.
shit on like everything that's going on in your life. It's so easy to be negative. It's so easy to be like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm a horrible person. I'm like literally a piece of shit. I'm doing nothing with my life. I'm broke. I have no friends. Like, it's so easy to just like talk negatively to yourself. And I think if you wake up and start every day with like, I wake up with a full belly and I get to like have my morning coffee and I get to go to a job where, you know,
Job that I prayed for.
literally, job that I prayed for, where I'm learning, and
No, yeah.
it's just like, it
It's
just
so true. Yeah.
helps you attack every day.
Well, I would even go further to say the most important time to be grateful and to look around and be feeling blessed for the things you have is when something bad's happening.
Yeah,
or when
I would
something
agree.
is not going right.
Yeah.
And when your first reaction is that negativity.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta stop yourself and you gotta say, you know what? I am breathing air right now.
Yeah.
You know, just find even the simplest thing possible and just be grateful for it.
I used to do this thing, which I haven't done in a while. Maybe I should start it again. Every day I would write, like at the end of the day, like right before I got in bed, I kept a little mini journal on my nightstand and I would write 3 things that I was grateful that happened that day. And it could literally just be like, I had a Diet Coke with dinner.
Yeah.
Or like,
Exactly.
like just,
Little
I
DC.
mean, genuinely like looking at things, little things in your life that you're just grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to piggyback into my next one on what you just did.
Yeah.
It's okay to be wrong. So many people get so hooked into their own like ego and thought
Yeah.
on something. And I think this plays into our second episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where you were like, I'm okay with going into conversations with an open mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Willing to have your mind changed.
Yeah, change
Yep.
my mind, please.
And it's okay to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay for someone to change your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
rock my world.
Please. Please. At this point, please.
If not, like, life is so boring. And,
Ugh.
like, I don't even care. You
Yes.
know, like, what's the point then?
And there are things where I don't give a shit.
Correct.
Don't get me wrong.
Correct.
No, yeah.
Where I'm just like, cool.
Cool.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs
But
up.
it makes me kind of excited. Like, it's kind of like what I said about people crying earlier. Like, it makes me excited when I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
Aw.
you can have that slight anger, not anger, but you can have that slight irritation of like, damn.
Damn, I look like an idiot right now. But that's also like a perception thing. Like that's your own shit that you're.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody else really cares.
Yeah. And it's not a guilt, it's not a shame, it's nothing deep.
No.
It's a recognition
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
of, I wouldn't even say a fault, but a recognition of, I didn't know enough, or,
Yeah.
wow, there's other things at play that I didn't think about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's okay to be wrong.
Love that. My next one is, this one is probably this is my favorite one, I think. But following your dreams is not embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing.
It's not. And that's just like so perfect for the podcast. Like,
So when are you submitting your book to a publisher?
don't talk about that right now. But like, it's just, it's not embarrassing to post videos on TikTok.
It's not.
It's not embarrassing if you think you want to be an influencer. It's not embarrassing if you want to start an Etsy. It's not embarrassing to do any of those things.
No.
It's not embarrassing if you're following your dreams and you're doing it because that's what you want to do. You have free will for a reason.
Period.
Free will.
Stop worrying about the people who are going to hate on you and that you're so worried of they're going to see this and make fun of me and laugh at me and think I'm like so foolish.
Yeah.
Let them do that. Let them do
Let
that,
them.
girl. Let them be negative and gross and hateful.
That's toxic.
If I want to start a podcast with my best friends and that's a dream of mine, I'm gonna do it. And if you're gonna sit in the corner and laugh, hey, at least you're clicking on the video.
True.
Thanks
Thank
for the
you.
view.
Thanks for that. That's so fun. So that's my favorite
Thanks
one.
for listening. Yeah.
love
Ooh,
that.
It's not embarrassing.
That's not embarrassing. I think the older you get too, like that just comes with age. It's like you really start to give less of a fuck about what anyone thinks.
Yes, who cares?
Like,
I don't care about you.
Oh, I was talking about that yesterday with Haley of like, old people have a blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah, we were
In the
talking
fact
about
that they don't give a fuck.
Oh my god, I know.
Yeah.
Like my grandma, her doctor calling her a terrorist because she probably told them she wanted to burn down the hospital for how many days she's been in there. She doesn't give a fuck.
No.
I'm like, Grandma, they're going to put you on a 5150. You're going to be there for 72 more hours if you're not careful. But
She's like strapped down to the bed.
Oh my god.
But it's like, it's a blessing and a curse for old people.
Because she's figured out, girl, I have free will.
She has
And
nothing
I'm
to lose.
exercising it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Except maybe her freedom. But, like,
You know what?
at the grocery store cussing some lady out,
Okay.
that lady ain't going to hit her.
No.
She's going to walk out of that grocery store and she's going to drive her happy ass home. And she's going to be just fine.
Yep. That's true.
Alright, sorry to go off track there.
That was needed, honestly. Okay.
Hey.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Ooh.
Say it louder for those in the back.
It literally like piggybacks off exactly what I said about gratitude. It's
Mhm.
like, I think in a day and age where shit is constantly being shoved down our throats,
Yes.
it's so easy to be like, oh, well, I really need that new pair of shoes that everyone else has right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just like, oh, all these people get to go on vacations and, you know, just, it's literally,
Or even just like comparing like your body.
yeah, oh my
Yep.
god. I cannot tell you how many times I go down a TikTok rabbit hole. I sit there, I'm not even kidding, for like an hour straight, just scrolling and being like, why don't I look like that?
Right.
Why don't my teeth look like that? Why is my stomach not that flat? Why is my hair not that long? Why is my, like, genuinely everything, like, and it's so easy to do.
And then I bet you leave that 1 hour session feeling like absolute shit.
Oh, yeah. It does nothing for me. It does nothing for me.
Right.
Truly.
I need to send y'all some TikToks in. Because I'd be like, I start like middle of the show, so I'll swipe over the profile, scroll down, find it, and start an entire episode of like a show, you know?
Oh, I do that too.
Oh my god, I love that.
I do that too! I do that too.
So
Or
it's
they'll,
have
like,
you
narrate
seen the
it?
show? And I'm like, well, on TikTok I
On
watch
TikTok,
like 95% of it. So basically,
Literally.
Sorry
Or,
to go
like,
off track there.
A
but
movie that I've been wanting to see that I haven't yet, and I'm like, oh my god, somebody bootlegged
no,
that.
you just need to do my thing. If there's a movie I want to see, but I'm not sure I'm going to, or I don't want to spend money to buy it, I will literally go to Wikipedia,
Read the
go to
whole
the plot
plot.
summary, read the whole
Yeah.
thing, and then I'm
You
like,
do.
all right, great. Don't
You
need to
do.
see that now.
You like to do those scary movies.
Yes, because scary movies have some interesting plots, but I'm not trying to see like a man with 47,000 sharp teeth like
Right.
biting a girl's feet off.
Right.
No, but I think that is so true.
comparison is a thief.
Especially like my current perspective of it is like wedding things, and like everyone has these like really amazing like fairy tale
my God.
Pinterest weddings, and I'm like, do I really want to do this at my wedding? Is this really special to me, or am I just doing this because I think that other people are gonna take photos of it and be like, look how cool this is,
Right.
You know, so
Nobody has it all figured out. Nobody.
That was literally my last one, Ben.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
Nobody has it figured out.
I said yeah.
Even our parents, our
I
grandparents,
said no one knows what the fuck they're doing. So
people
just
that are
fake
6
it.
foot under don't know what the hell they're doing.
Correct.
God didn't know what he was doing.
Correct.
You know, like, we could have had 15 days in the week instead of 7.
Yeah.
Thank God it's only 7.
Thank God it's only 7.
But,
Great with 5 or 6. But.
well, but nobody has any clue what they're doing.
mm-hmm.
So all the points we talked about today, take those, get you an umbrella, set them underneath, and write the words on the top of the umbrella, I have no fucking clue
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's fine, governor.
And it's fine.
Here we go.
No, yeah.
Eve, give us number 8.
Okay, this is my last one, and then I get one more.
I think I have one more, yeah.
You better think.
I have like 3 left because I kind of did a couple extra just in case we had repeats. So I'm just picking the one that I think is a good way for me to wrap up what I've been saying.
Okay.
But I'm going to say talk and treat yourself how you treat your friends and family. Treat yourself the way that you treat your best friend. Because you love your best friend more than anything in the world, and you think she's so perfect and so wonderful, or he's so perfect and so wonderful, or your partner is so great and you love hyping them up and talking about them, and you would never call them fat, and you would never call them stupid, and you would never tell them that they're a worthless piece of shit. But you say it to yourself. So yourself is your best friend above everyone. That's the person you know best in this entire world. You know your own intentions. You know you're trying your best and being a good person, just like Ben just said.
Yeah.
So treat yourself the way that you're treating those people that you love and look up to.
You got to go to bed with yourself at night.
Yeah, they don't.
You're the last person that you get to see and talk to before you close your eyes.
God, yeah.
And when you die, that's the last person there with you.
Yep.
That's who's holding your hand, yourself.
I'm going to be laying in bed on my deathbed going like this. Hold my hands
For those of you
together.
that can't see, because we're obviously not videotaping.
Yeah, Ben's got his fingers.
Ben's clasping both of his hands in front of his chest, like a
Like the
choir
Pope.
boy.
Like the Pope. I am the Pope.
The first American Pope.
It's Ben.
Literally. But that's my 8 items, so.
I agree. 100 wholeheartedly. I don't. Never mind, I'm not going to go there. We might get flagged on YouTube for that one. Go ahead, Haley.
Haley, round us out.
Okay, we've already kind of talked about this. I feel like all mine just were kind of like a big spider web of like connective shit.
That's good though.
I just said every no or every failure is a chance to better yourself. Which
It's very true.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not constantly taking the opportunity to, like, learn by shit that doesn't go right in your life, come on.
Take the L.
Come on.
Like,
Give me the L.
Sometimes that's the easiest way out, too.
There's no room left in the world for ignorant people.
No.
Educate yourself, okay? Ignorant has a bad rap. It just means you're uneducated.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So quit having opinions. Quit talking about things.
Yeah.
Educate yourself. You have Google. Just Google and find
it.
reputable source and read it, and you'll be educated.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love reading through, like, Facebook comments or TikTok comments on, like, controversial shit. And I'm like,
Me too.
what is going on?
Me too.
Both sides. I'm like, what is going on?
Bottom line, be kind and respect other people.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to be getting into the weeds if you're doing that.
Truly, yeah.
Normally.
We don't.
You know how I am. I like to get in the weeds.
Yeah. Who wants to wrap it up?
Birthday girl, this episode sponsored by
finish
you and your home hosting all of us.
You should also talk a little bit about what you're excited for tonight and like what we're doing today.
Okay, yeah. So tonight, Eve and Ben worked very hard to plan a little shindig for me at my house.
And blow 45 balloons out.
And Ben
Ben is a professional balloon blower.
I am a clown. You can hire me for...
Did you feel lightheaded?
No. Well, a little bit.
Well, Ben, at one point, Ben was blowing 2 up at a time.
Yeah.
If that tells you anything.
Double fisting the balloons. Oh. Which is how I'm gonna be later.
Yeah.
No, we basically came up with this little theme of like sardine themed because it's like starting to be summer and
Fisherman core.
Eve did a great, like literally could not have asked for a better little party planner than Eve. She like give her a
love
theme,
stuff like that.
she will execute and kill it.
Oh,
every time.
unloading the car? I said, holy shit.
Well, I'm just a little bit of an overachiever, so.
You are, and it looks fantastic.
It
Well, and
so
I'm like,
cute.
I would say this is a great opportunity to kind of like silently tell Haley, thanks for everything you're doing for me this
Aw.
year. You know, it's like
a maid of honor.
like it's a maid of honor, and yeah.
I feel like birthdays should be more of like a looked upon as a year of gratitude.
That's
Yeah.
kind
Like
of
people's gratitude to
Yeah.
you for the last year of hard work
Yes.
that you poured into that person.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm
also,
so grateful you were born. Literally.
It's so special to me that like tonight is gonna be like literally just like a chance for you all to like meet people in my life that you haven't got to meet yet. But we're gonna have little cocktails and some takeout Chinese food, which is my fave, and I'm making a little. If you know Little Debbie Swiss rolls, I'm making a little trifle dessert.
Don't even try Haley about her little Debbie cakes.
Oh my god. So yeah, it's just I'm very grateful that people are taking the time out of their busy schedule to like come hang out with me for a night, and
We're gonna get crunk.
Yeah.
We love to play games with any sort of game with a pong ball. We love it.
Yeah, we're there for
We
it.
love balls.
It's gonna be so fun.
Balls, Vincent.
Well,
Sorry.
Don't you worry, we have the night for you.
we've got all kinds of balls, all different shapes, sizes, colors.
Yeah.
All right. We'll wrap it there.
Great way to end, truly.
Great to see y'all, even though we can't see y'all. Thanks for listening.
Like it, comment on it,
Tell us maybe
spin on it.
what you want us to yap about, or I don't
Yeah.
know.
Tell us your favorite point out of the 25 that we just went through that you can relate to the most.
If you made it this far.
If you made it this far, God, love you.
God
Woo!
love you. Okay.
But thanks for coming. Love y'all.
Grateful. Peace
Bye.
and blessings.